Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands are a group of tropical islands in the Caribbean Sea, known for their stunning beaches, vibrant culture, and historical significance. The archipelago is divided into three main territories: the United States Virgin Islands, USVI, the British Virgin Islands, BVI, and the smaller, less populated Spanish Virgin Islands, which are part of Puerto Rico. These islands are a popular destination for tourists seeking relaxation, adventure, and a taste of Caribbean culture. Geography and climate. The Virgin Islands are located in the northeastern Caribbean, east of Puerto Rico and west of the Atlantic Ocean. The islands have a warm, tropical climate with year-round sunshine, making them ideal for tourism. The terrain is diverse, featuring lush green mountains, white sandy beaches, and coral reefs teeming with marine life. The islands are also vulnerable to hurricanes, with the hurricane season typically running from June to November. History and colonial influence. The Virgin Islands were originally inhabited by the Arawak and Carib indigenous peoples before being discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1493. Over the centuries, the islands changed hands among several European powers, including Spain, the Netherlands, France, Denmark, and Britain. The Danish West Indies, which later became the U.S. Virgin Islands, were heavily involved in sugarcane plantations and the transatlantic slave trade. The British Virgin Islands also played a similar role under British rule. In 1917, the United States purchased the Danish West Indies from Denmark for $25 million, renaming them the United States Virgin Islands. The British Virgin Islands remained under British rule and became a British overseas territory. Today, both the USVI and BVI have developed into important financial and tourism hubs in the Caribbean. Culture and economy. The culture of the Virgin Islands is a blend of African, European, and indigenous influences. This is reflected in their music, dance, cuisine, and festivals. Music genres such as reggae, calypso, soca, and steel pan are popular across the islands. Festivals like the Carnival in St. Thomas, USVI, and the BVI Emancipation Festival celebrate the island's history and heritage with parades, music, and dance. The economies of the Virgin Islands rely heavily on tourism, which accounts for the majority of income and employment. The USVI, with its duty-free shopping and luxury resorts, attracts millions of visitors annually. The British Virgin Islands, known as a sailing and yachting paradise, is famous for its crystal-clear waters and secluded bays. Additionally, offshore financial services, particularly in the British Virgin Islands, contribute significantly to the economy. Tourism and attractions. The Virgin Islands offer a range of attractions, including Virgin Islands National Park, USVI, located on St. Thomas. John, this park covers most of the island and features hiking trails, historical ruins, and pristine beaches. The Baths, BVI, a geological wonder on Virgin Gorda, featuring massive granite boulders forming natural pools and caves. Buck Island Reef National Monument, USVI, a popular snorkeling and diving site with a protected coral reef. Jost Van Dyke, BVI, famous for its beach bars, including the legendary Foxy's and Soggy Dollar Bar. Conclusion. The Virgin Islands are a unique and captivating part of the Caribbean, offering a rich blend of history, culture, and natural beauty. Whether exploring historical sites, enjoying local festivals, or simply relaxing on world-class beaches, the islands provide an unforgettable experience. With their friendly people, warm climate, and stunning landscapes, the Virgin Islands continue to be a top destination for travelers worldwide. History and heritage of the Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands have a rich and complex history shaped by indigenous cultures, European colonization, the transatlantic slave trade, and modern political transformations. This diverse heritage is reflected in the island's traditions, architecture, music, and festivals. Indigenous inhabitants before European contact, the Arawak, and later the Carib people inhabited the Virgin Islands. The Arawaks were a peaceful agricultural society known for their pottery, fishing, and cultivation of cassava. The Caribs, who later displaced the Arawaks, were skilled warriors and seafarers. Evidence of these indigenous cultures can still be found in petroglyphs and artifacts across the islands, particularly in St. John's Reef Bay Trail, USVI, and Salt Island, BVI. European exploration and colonization. In 1493, Christopher Columbus became the first European to document the Virgin Islands during his second voyage to the Americas. He named them Las 11,000 Vírgenes, the 11,000 Virgins, in honor of Saint Ursula. However, Spain did not establish permanent settlements, leaving the islands open to other European powers. Throughout the 1600s and 1700s, the Dutch, English, French, and Danish vied for control of the islands. The British established their presence in the British Virgin Islands, BVI, in 1672, while Denmark took control of the Danish West Indies, now the U.S. Virgin Islands, in 1733. During this period, the islands became major centers of sugar cane plantations, heavily reliant on African slave labor. The brutal conditions on these plantations led to several slave uprisings, including the 1733 St. John's Slave Revolt, one of the earliest large-scale slave revolts in the Caribbean. Emancipation and end of slavery. Slavery in the British Virgin Islands was abolished on August 1, 1834, as part of Britain's broader efforts to end slavery across its empire. In the Danish West Indies, slavery was abolished later on July 3, 1848, following a major rebellion led by General Boudreaux, an enslaved freedom fighter. Today, Emancipation Day, July 3rd in USVI and August 1st in BVI, is a major holiday celebrated with festivals, music, and cultural events. Transition to modern governance United States Virgin Islands, USVI. In 1917, Denmark sold the islands of St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix to the United States for $25 million in gold, fearing German expansion in the Caribbean during World War I. The USVI became an unincorporated U.S. territory, and its residents were granted U.S. citizenship in 1927. Today, the USVI operates under a local government, but remains under U.S. federal jurisdiction. British Virgin Islands, BVI. The BVI remains a British overseas territory with a locally elected government. In the 20th century, the British Virgin Islands developed into a major offshore financial center, contributing significantly to its economy. Cultural heritage and traditions. The Virgin Islands' cultural identity is a blend of African, European, and indigenous influences, reflected in their music, food, and celebrations. Music and dance quelbe, scratch band music. The official music of the USVI, rooted in African rhythms and European folk influences. Calypso and soca. Popular throughout the islands, these genres originate from the broader Caribbean music scene. Steel pan music, introduced from Trinidad, it remains a staple of island festivals. Festivals and celebrations. Carnival, USVI, a vibrant celebration with parades, music, and dancing, held annually in St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix. BVI Emancipation Festival, a major cultural event in the BVI celebrating the abolition of slavery with performances, food, and traditional music. D. Hamilton Jackson Day, USVI, honors the civil rights leader who fought for press freedom and workers' rights in the early 20th century. Historical landmarks. Fort Christian, St. Thomas, USVI, the oldest standing structure in the USVI, built by the Danish in the 1600s. Estate Whim Plantation Museum, St. Kitts and Nevis. Croix, USVI, a preserved sugar plantation showcasing the colonial era. The Baths, Virgin Gorda, British Virgin Islands, a geological wonder and historical landmark with ties to early settlers. Conclusion. The history and heritage of the Virgin Islands tell a story of resilience, cultural fusion, and transformation. From the struggles of the indigenous peoples and enslaved Africans to the colonial legacies of European rule, the islands have evolved into unique, self-governing territories with a rich cultural identity. Today, the traditions, music, and festivals continue to celebrate the island's diverse heritage, making the Virgin Islands a living testament to Caribbean history. Daily life in the Virgin Islands. Life in the Virgin Islands is a blend of Caribbean tradition, modern influences, and a relaxed island lifestyle. Whether in the United States Virgin Islands, USVI, or the British Virgin Islands, BVI, residents enjoy a warm climate, close-knit communities, and a deep connection to the sea and nature. While tourism and finance drive the economy, daily life revolves around family, culture, and local customs. Work and economy. The economy of the Virgin Islands is primarily based on tourism, financial services, and small businesses. Many locals work in hotels, restaurants, retail shops, and tour companies that cater to visitors. In the British Virgin Islands, offshore banking and financial services are a major source of income, leading to a more corporate work environment in places like Roadtown, Tortola. Fishing, agriculture, and government jobs also play a role in the island's workforce. Many residents have multiple sources of income, such as running small businesses, working in hospitality, or renting out vacation properties. The cost of living is high, as most goods are imported, making local businesses and farming important for sustainability. Education and schools. Education is a priority, with public and private schools available on all major islands. The school system follows American standards in the USVY and British standards in the BV. Schools typically start around 8 a.m. and end in the early afternoon. After school, students often participate in outdoor activities like swimming, soccer, and sailing. For higher education, the University of the Virgin Islands, UVI, has campuses on St. Thomas and St. Croix. Thomas and St. Croix, while many students from the British Virgin Islands pursue studies abroad in the United States, United Kingdom, or nearby Caribbean countries. Transportation and commuting. Getting around the Virgin Islands varies depending on the island. Cars and jeeps are the primary mode of transportation, but driving can be challenging due to narrow, winding roads. Taxis and safari. Buses, open-air buses, are popular, especially for tourists and those without private vehicles. Ferries are essential for commuting between islands, particularly between St. Thomas, St. John, and the British Virgin Islands. Boating is a major part of life. Despite using American-style cars with left-side steering wheels. Food and cuisine, Virgin Islands. Cuisine is a mix of African, Caribbean, and European influences. Popular foods include Johnny cakes, fried or baked bread, often eaten for breakfast. Fungi and fish, a dish made from cornmeal, similar to polenta, served with fresh fish. Roti, a flatbread filled with curried meat or vegetables influenced by Indian cuisine. Pâtés, fried pastry filled with meat, fish, or vegetables. Saltfish and dumplings, a traditional dish made with dried and salted fish. Bush tea, herbal teas made from local plants, often enjoyed in the mornings. Fresh seafood is widely available, and tropical fruits like mango, guava, papaya, and soursop are common in daily meals. Dining out is also popular, with restaurants serving both local and international dishes. Community and social life. The community spirit in the Virgin Islands is strong. People often greet each other warmly, and it's common to hear "good morning" or "good afternoon" before starting a conversation. Social life revolves around family gatherings, church events, and festivals. Many locals are deeply religious, with Christianity, primarily Protestantism and Catholicism, being the dominant faith. Sunday church services are a significant part of life, often followed by family meals and relaxation. Festivals and celebrations bring the community together. The biggest events include Carnival, USVI, a lively celebration with parades, music, and food, held in April, St. Thomas, June, St. John, and December, St. Croix. BVI Emancipation Festival, celebrated in August to honor the abolition of slavery. Christmas and New Year's traditions. Families gather for large feasts, and local music fills the streets. Sports and outdoor activities are also popular, with soccer, basketball, sailing, and cricket being favorite pastimes. Recreation and leisure. Life in the Virgin Islands is closely connected to the ocean and nature. On weekends or after work, many locals enjoy beaches, relaxing, swimming, and snorkeling at famous spots like Trunk Bay, St. John, Magens Bay, St. Thomas, and Smuggler's Cove, Tortola. Boating and fishing. Many people own small boats or go on sailing trips to explore nearby caves and reefs. Hiking. Trails like the Reef Bay Trail, St. John, and Sage Mountain, Tortola, offer stunning views. Music and nightlife. Live music, dance hall, reggae, and steel band performances are common at bars and festivals. Tourism and economy of the Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands have a thriving economy driven primarily by tourism, financial services, and small businesses. Both the United States Virgin Islands, USVI, and the British Virgin Islands, BVI, benefit from their tropical climate, beautiful beaches, and status as a major Caribbean destination. While tourism remains the dominant industry, sectors such as offshore finance, retail, and agriculture also contribute to the economy. Tourism in the Virgin Islands. Tourism is the largest economic sector, attracting millions of visitors annually. The islands are famous for their pristine beaches, clear waters, national parks, historical sites, and vibrant culture. Major tourist attractions: United States Virgin Islands, USVI, Magens Bay, St. Thomas. One of the most famous beaches in the Caribbean. Charlotte Amalie, St. Thomas, a popular cruise ship port with duty-free shopping and historic sites. Trunk Bay, St. John, a breathtaking beach known for its underwater snorkeling trail. Virgin Islands National Park, St. John, covers nearly 60% of the island, offering hiking, beaches, and historical ruins. Buck Island Reef National Monument, St. Croix, a protected marine park with coral reefs and underwater trails. British Virgin Islands, BVI. The Baths, Virgin Gorda, a unique beach with giant granite boulders forming natural pools and caves. White Bay, Jost Van Dyke, famous for its beach bars, including the legendary Soggy Dollar Bar. Sailing and yachting. The BVI is known as the sailing capital of the Caribbean, attracting yacht charters and regattas. Anegada, a coral island known for its secluded beaches and fresh lobster. Types of tourism: cruise tourism. St. Thomas is a major cruise hub, welcoming thousands of visitors daily. Ecotourism. St. John and the British Virgin Islands focus on sustainable tourism, with protected parks and marine reserves. Adventure tourism. Activities like snorkeling, diving, hiking, and deep-sea fishing are popular. Luxury and resort tourism. The islands host world-class resorts, private villas, and exclusive retreats. Challenges in tourism. Hurricanes. The Virgin Islands are vulnerable to hurricanes, which can disrupt tourism. Environmental concerns. Over-tourism and climate change threaten coral reefs and marine ecosystems. Economic dependence. The economy is highly reliant on tourism, making it vulnerable to global downturns. Economy of the Virgin Islands. Key economic sectors. 1. Tourism, USVI and BVI, accounts for 60 to 70% of GDP in both territories. Provides jobs in hotels, restaurants, transportation, and retail. 2. Financial services, British Virgin Islands. The British Virgin Islands is a leading offshore financial center, attracting international businesses with tax incentives. Home to thousands of registered international business companies, IBCs. Contributes significantly to government revenue. 3. Trade and retail, USVI and BVI. St. Thomas is a duty-free shopping hub, attracting visitors for jewelry, electronics, and luxury goods. The BVI also benefits from imports and re-exports. 4. Manufacturing and industry, USVI. St. Croix once had a major oil refinery, Lime Tree Bay, but its operations have been inconsistent. Some local industries include rum production, with brands like Cruz and Rum, Captain Morgan. 5. SVI and BVI. Small-scale farming includes crops like bananas, coconuts, and mangoes. Fishing provides fresh seafood for local markets, though it is not a major export industry. Cost of living and economic challenges. High cost of living. Goods are mostly imported, making daily expenses high. Hurricane impact. Natural disasters like Hurricanes Irma and Maria, 2017, have devastated infrastructure. Limited natural resources. The islands rely on imports for food, energy, and consumer goods. Economic diversification. The British Virgin Islands seeks to expand beyond tourism and finance, while the United States Virgin Islands explores renewable energy and local manufacturing. Conclusion. The Virgin Islands economy is deeply tied to tourism and finance, creating both opportunities and vulnerabilities. While tourism remains the backbone, efforts are being made to diversify industries and promote sustainability. With continued investment in infrastructure, ecotourism